Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and honestly, we gotta talk about a little misinformation, ladies and gentlemen. Now, remember a while back we talked about a GTA 6 hacker, the guy that leaked like God knows how many clips of Grand Theft Auto 6 before it was supposed to show up, in a trailer to be revealed? Yeah, this cost Rockstar around $5 million worth of damages from what I've heard, and it's not exactly pretty. So, ladies and gentlemen, the team behind hacking Rockstar Games is known as Lapsus, and the hacker is known as Arian Kurtaj, an 18-year-old individual that shows no remorse. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I've seen a little bit of misinformation float around that this guy got a life sentence in prison because of hacking Rockstar Games and leaking GTA 6. Now, as much as a Grand Theft Auto fan that I am, hacking a video game company and leaking confidential materials does not warrant a life sentence. Nor does this story involve an actual prison life sentence. I've never heard of any hacker getting a life sentence in prison, so I decided, instead of going through the misinformation, I'm gonna actually research and realize what's going on. I'm gonna look past the headline. So, ladies and gentlemen, to understand, hacking Rockstar Games wasn't the only thing. Lapsus, throughout its actual involvement, some of these hackers were involved with hacking Uber, Nvidia, and the amount of damages they ended up causing was around 10 million US dollars, okay? So this wasn't any light stuff going on. These were big companies that they were going up against. They showed no remorse, they hacked the shit out of them, and eventually, obviously, they ended up getting caught by law enforcement agencies all over the world, okay? Now, the reason why I wanted to look into it is because this isn't a life sentence in prison. But yes, the hacker did get a life sentence. You know what the life sentence is? An indefinite hold in a hospital. Now, that might sound insane. You might be wondering, whoa, why are they getting an indefinite hold? Now, I looked into why, and apparently it's because they showed literally no remorse. So why an indefinite hold? Well, apparently it seems as if the actual individual, Arian, wanted to keep committing crimes. Now, when you go through trial, which I believe he didn't go through because of his mental state, he has autism, and even if, you go through a trial and the law enforcement investigates you, you probably should show remorse and tell them, yeah, I'm not going to hack again, okay? Well, Arian decided that I'm going to actually use my big brain here and continued to show that he wanted to express the intent to return to cybercrime as soon as possible. Highly motivated, by the way, too. And he was actually pretty violent inside custody as well, too. And all of this led to a mental health assessment that basically caused him to have an indefinite hospital hold. So yeah, this person does have a life sentence, but it's not because a life sentence exists because of their crimes, it's because of how they responded to the crimes, actually. So what's actually insane over here too is I was looking into this as well, and even under their police protection too, like when they were actually arrested, they were detained, they were kept in like a travel lodge hotel. This individual grabbed an Amazon Fire Stick, a television set, and a cell phone, and decided to commit one of their biggest hacks through sheer cyber MacGyverism, is all I'm gonna put it out like. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this person, even under actual police protection, when they are finally fucking caught, they still continue to actually commit crimes. So to understand why there's an indefinite hospital hold, it's because not only did they commit a crime, they got caught, but they decided to show that I have no remorse, I'm just going to keep on doing what I did, okay? That's pretty much generally what it came down to. So even looking further into the situation too, the judge had actually looked at what I believe to be another 17-year-old, and there was a situation regarding the alleged stalking and harassment of like two women as well, which again, most people in this group didn't seem like they had their screws tightened at all. And obviously law enforcement is going to look at this in a very questionable way. Now, being the fact that this is a hospital hold, it's not necessarily the worst thing, and I mean that in the sense that there may be a silver lining. Clearly, the individuals involved in here, at least Arian, does not seem like he's all the way there. Clearly, if he's showing no remorse and he does not care about the consequences that of their actions, maybe being in a prison hospital or just in a hospital in general to be, to be given some remedial therapy, anything of that nature, is probably the best thing in this situation. Because again, if you just let this person fester with their mindset right now, who knows what they do 10 years down the road, right? I'm sure somewhere down the road, 5 years, as hellish as a hospital stay looks, an indefinite hospital hold, I think the silver lining is at least treatment can be delivered now at an early age of 18. And then maybe down the road, 5-6 years, they can actually use their talents for a productive reason rather than just becoming the next big hacker, so to speak. And that's really what it comes down to. There is no remorse. Even under bail conditions, when you are actually caught breaking them, such as running your hacks, running your most infamous hack through an Amazon Fire Stick, a TV, and a cell phone, under police custody, under police protection, under your bail conditions, once you break those conditions, the entire hammer comes down. You get slapped with the full extent of the law. So this isn't a necessary situation of like, just because this person hacked a computer or like hacked a computer video game or released source code. It's the fact that they literally were not operating underneath their bail conditions and they showed no remorse and they just had shown a sign to continue actual criminal actions, even if they were released, which obviously if you're charged with any criminal behavior, you shouldn't do, okay? Even if you have the intention of doing it, at least show fucking remorse. That's all it came down to. This person did not show any sign of changing. They were like a guaranteed recidivist. And that's why, instead of throwing them into a prison cell, they decided maybe a hospital is the better option. Which isn't prison, by the way. It's literally them actually getting helped with their clear mental deficiencies in this manner. So, to understand, this person did in fact get a life sentence. The GTA 6 hacker did in fact get a life sentence. A life sentence in a hospital, where they're indefinitely held because they are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, this is what happens when you actually press to be a danger. Now, I saw this information floating around, and people were saying, oh god, Rockstar Games is a horrible company. They can be horrible for a lot of reasons, but they were not responsible for giving a life sentence to an actual adult. And I'm going to say it, an adult, by the way, when you're 18 years of age. Now, looking into this situation, again, this person basically caused their own demise, and that's how these stories tend to end. So again, I wanted to look into this because the misinformation was a little bit real. This was nobody's fault but this individual's. It's kind of like going up to a hardened criminal, you know, somebody that's like a street gangbanger, you arrest them, and then when you're in the interrogation hold, it's like, all right, do you have any remorse? You bring them up to the trial, and the judge asks them, it's like, you know, are you going to do this again? Have you learned your lesson? And the gangbanger goes, nope. As soon as I get out of prison, I'm gonna run the block again. I'm gonna start going fucking crazy. This is what I was built for. I am just a different human being. There's a pretty good chance that they probably won't get you out of prison. You probably will get the book thrown at you, and you'll serve the max amount of time that they can serve or give to you. In this situation, computer hacking and crimes like this don't really put you into a prison cell for that long. So again, what it really boiled down to was he had no remorse and he was actually a clear and present danger violently to other people and themselves, and they kept them in an entire prison hold till the end of time. Now, I'm sure maybe like 5 years down the road, that whole like kick will go out of their body and maybe a doctor will say, yeah, they're good to be released and call it a day. I think it's pretty hellish to be locked in a hospital forever, but at the end of the day, it really came down to this individual and them not actually learning their lesson. And I didn't actually expect it. I thought maybe this is going to be a situation where they would get a bit of slaps on the wrist. Maybe they would be like basically thrown out of trial, because there was a time about a few months ago where looking into their trial, they weren't even going to go up front because of their mental state. But because of how they've acted and how they have presented themselves, I think the hospital stay is pretty much warranted. They are, in fact, a danger to the people around them. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the GTA 6 hacker has spectacularly fell down in the worst way imaginable. And it wasn't because they just hacked a company and called it a day. I've seen a few people say that, oh, they're in a hospital. Maybe that's code word for them working for the MI5 or like a big company or a big organization or something, or like a secret like government hacking collective. And while that seems all fine and dandy, what this person was doing behind the scenes and the hack that they pulled off wasn't necessarily crazy to the point where they would actually be getting that like Hollywood-style employment. Also, they've shown themselves to be completely uncontrollable, which means that even if you gave them a job, you actually can't trust this individual with doing said job. So yeah, this is exactly how you cause your own demise, and you basically hurt yourself in the process. And for the few people that thought that hacking a video game company led to a life sentence in prison, may I remind you, looking past the headlines is a pretty important thing that they should teach you in society. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, GTA 6 hacker ruined their own life. And honestly, they got no one else to fucking blame but themselves. That said, though, this is me, Mutahar, and yeah, I am out.